So in this video, I'm going to talk about something really important, something that really needs to be discussed. I'm going to talk about the culture war against firearms that's going on, and that it's a culture war that we seem to be losing. Every day we see in the news that more and more politicians and more people are proposing laws and legislation to further restrict gun rights, either by limiting things that can be purchased, by limiting where and how sales can be done. We see things like red flag laws coming up, so many different things that would have a massive impact and not really for the better. So many people stacking up against us in a media that is almost completely one-sided on it, not just with the news, but with Hollywood. We see more and more businesses that are starting to make decisions that go against firearm ownership. And there seems to not be any help coming from anywhere. Organizations like the NRA that are supposed to be on our side are completely dropping the ball, getting caught up in their own internal politics and scandals, and also at the same time supporting legislation that goes against us. And the people that are against us seem just vehemently against us, to the point of misconstruing facts, even making up stuff, and they just have like no interest in talking to us at all, no interest in the dialogue. So what can actually be done about this? I saw recently that John at TheGunColletive had put out a video kind of addressing a lot of this, and it's kind of what's made me decide to make this video. The thing that John at TGC said that we need to do is something that we don't want to do, is that we need to have a conversation, and a conversation with the people on the other side that are against us. Now, we do not mean compromise. Conversation means just that. We need to talk to people, and we need to explain things. We need to not want to give away anything. We've already lost so much. We don't want to give away more. But as I stated earlier in this video, the people on the other side seem to not want to talk to us, and seem to have, many of them, very political motives for what they are proposing. So how are we supposed to have a conversation? Well, we have to look at who we're going to have the conversation with. And when we look at people that are in support of stricter gun control, they tend to come from basically two different places. You've got the very hardcore ones that are driving everything. A lot of them have political aspirations and have political motives for doing it. This group here isn't going to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you. But there is a much larger group out there than this. And this is just the regular people in the middle. Basically, they don't know a whole lot about firearms. There are a lot of people out there that don't know a lot about it. All that they know is what they are told. The only place that they are told about anything is from the media. And so they base their opinions off of what the media tells them. And these opinions are made because of very emotional reasons, and reasons that are not actually invalid, that are actually, in fact, quite important. The big thing that's being used lately to push a lot of gun control is recent gun violence, particularly mass shootings, especially ones in schools against children. Now, this is something that very rightfully makes people angry, because it should make you angry that someone is going around and killing kids and murdering them. Why would you not be angry and not be emotional about that? If you're not, there is something wrong with you, and something very, very wrong with you. And so whether or not the media is overplaying all of this or not is actually not important here. What is important is that you have a lot of people that have gotten very, very upset about something. These people don't know a lot about firearms. They see what the media tells them about it, that these are guns that are only made for killing. They're military style. They're too powerful for civilians to have. Why are they even out there? We need to get these away from people. And if you don't know a lot, you hear this and these things make sense to you. And it's very important to understand where the emotion is coming from and what is driving the decisions and why they come to those decisions. Trying to understand someone's thinking is not trying to excuse that or explain it or say that it's okay. It's just to understand it because it's important to understand it. The reason that it's important to understand the reasoning and thinking behind everyone on this is because you cannot take logic and facts and go up against raw emotion and win against raw emotion. You also can't try to just simply counter emotion with emotion because that just turns into a screaming match that doesn't go anywhere. Now, to know how to counter that, you have to know a little bit about human behavior. When someone is told that they are wrong, or that their opinions are wrong, or that their life experiences and the conclusions that they draw from those life experiences are invalid, they don't like that. They don't. It doesn't matter what the conversation or what the opinion's about. It could be about literally anything. People don't like being told that they're wrong. When you tell someone that they're wrong, when they have emotion behind all of it, it just ends up pushing them back further the other way. They end up just doubling down on their opinions. They close you off. They are not going to listen to you anymore, and they're done. Now, I'm going to talk about something here I'm not particularly good at when it comes to conflict resolution, and that is active listening. I'm not going to go really heavy into it, but just take out the few pieces that we need for this. Something that can be done to take people off of the defense a little bit and get them to a point to where they can start listening is simply explaining that you understand what their concerns are. You've got to explain back to them what their viewpoint is. Not verbatim what they said, but just in your own words, showing that you understand it. Yes, I absolutely understand that you are very upset by all of the recent shootings. I'm upset by the recent shootings. Why would I not be? I mean, people are dying from that. And you've looked at it and you've seen that guns are what have done this. That is the instrument and the tool that has been used to do it. And the only way that you can see to get rid of the problem is to get rid of the guns. Let me tell you what my concerns are about that. And that last part is really important. What you don't want to say there is, and the only way that you can see to stop the problem is to get rid of the guns. And let me tell you why that's wrong. Because now you've said they're wrong and you've just pushed them back onto the defensive again. Then you can start to lay out a little bit of logic and facts there. You want to just get a good base of facts there. You don't want to go crazy with them and just like try to overwhelm them with it. You're just laying out a few, and then you can morph that into emotion. Because eventually you are going to need to counter the emotion with emotion. You just have to do it at the right time. So then you lay down about your family, about how important your family is to you, and how important their family is to them. Get them on the same emotions as you. And if anything threatens your family, what would you do to save your family from a threat? You've got to get the emotions out there, but lead into one of the most important tools to be able to use to keep your family safe. So you lay out the facts, you end with the emotion, and then, and this is the really hard part, you have to let it sit for a while. You can't just hound and hound and hound on it. You've got to stop and you've got to drop it for a little bit. And like John at TGC said, it's got to be just a little thing that you plant that you can let grow, and you just come and tend to it as you need to. You follow up with it. You'll have other conversations later, but they don't need to be just bang it over the head conversations. And that's all just because conflict resolution is difficult and people are really difficult, and I'm not any good at it. I really stink at all of this. It does not come naturally to me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it with people that I like, and I definitely don't want to do it with people that want to do things that would very much negatively impact me. but I've got to. So now what I've got to do is stop talking about what we need to do and what we can do and start going into what we can't do. And if I didn't lose you earlier, I may very well make you angry at this part. What we can't do is just stubbornly put our fingers in our ears, back away from everyone else, and yell at the top of our lungs, "Shall not be infringed." Yes, the Second Amendment is in the Constitution, and yes, it is important, and it's a good thing that it's there. But if you're dealing with someone who does not recognize the importance of the Constitution or does not think that everything in the Constitution is absolute, or even thinks that the Second Amendment needs to be taken out of the Constitution, trying to use the Constitution to win your argument will get you absolutely nowhere. When people do not recognize the Constitution, you cannot use the Constitution to win your argument. You also can't just get stubborn and stop listening to people and go in the corner and essentially throw a tantrum. Going off away from everything and angrily yelling not only is counterproductive, it also reinforces what they have been told about us, that we are irrational, angry people. That's what they say, and we can't play into it. It doesn't matter if it's stupid. That's what's out there. We have to deal with it. There are a lot of things that we don't like that we have to deal with it. It doesn't matter how it should be, that the Constitution should be recognized and the Second Amendment should be recognized. It doesn't matter that we should be able to do what we want and say what we want without being judged by everybody else. But it happens, and we have to deal with it. If you just sit around angrily clutching on to your "don't tread on me" flag while everything around you erodes while you're doing nothing, you're going to soon discover that you are going to have nothing left. We have to do more than just stand around and yell. We have to start conversing with people. We have to start engaging with them. It's the only way that anything is going to happen. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. We all don't want to do it. But we have to do it because it is the only way anything will happen. Because if we just keep sitting around doing nothing while everybody else is doing something, we are going to see that the something that they are doing is something that we really don't want them doing. So, if I haven't run you off already at this point, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and a like. You can also go to the comments section and leave whatever your thoughts there, no matter what you thought of the video. You also can check out all of my other videos by going to my channel or subscribing to my channel to make sure that you don't miss any of the videos that I post. I'm Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you next time.